Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream. Today, we are in Imola, in the region of Emilia Romagna, which is the closest region of Italy to San Marino, the micro country. San Marino, which is an official country inside of Italy. For the Formula One Emilia Romagna, MSC Cruises Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, on round 8, Emilia Romagna, for round 8 of the Formula One World Championship, and this weekend is a bigger weekend than ever for a lot of teams, for Italy, and for Formula One, who haven't gone to Emilia Romagna since 2022, after the flooding in Italy last year. Didn't get to race last year, but we are back this year for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, which should be even better than scheduled. It's going to be an amazing weekend. Amazing race weekend here on round 7 of the Formula One World Championship. We're going to Monaco next weekend, which and my next stream after this weekend will be in maybe Canada or Spain. Canada or Spain is one of those two. Canada or Spain. But going to be a big race. The first race, we went to the Middle East for Bahrain for rounds 1 and 2 in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. We went to Asia for rounds 3, 4, and 5. We went to Oceania for round 3 in Australia. We went to Asia for rounds 4 and 5 in Japan and China, before heading to North America for the Miami Grand Prix, and then heading to Europe for the first time. We've got a European doubleheader. We go to Italy this weekend. We're in Monaco for one of the 3 Triple Crown races of the season, which are both on the same day. The 2 of the 3 Triple Crown races are on the same day. With everyone getting prepared for the Indy 500 and everyone getting prepared for the old Monaco Grand Prix, which is one of the only tracks that has never changed its shape since the year probably the only Formula One track to never change its shape since the year of 1950, because their country has never changed shape since the year of 1950. So their track, which takes up half the country, I guess. I don't know. It takes up half the country. Is going to be a great race to watch next weekend in Monaco. But looking into this weekend, looking into Emilia Romagna, which is an amazing place in Italy, right outside of Rome, I'm pretty sure. No, it's the region that Rome's in. It's the region that Rome's in. Yes, it is. It's the region that Rome's in. And it's going to be an amazing race weekend for Ferrari, who haven't won this race since 2006. This race used to be known as the San Marino Grand Prix, even though it's an hour outside of San Marino. nowhere in completely different countries. But it's going to be a great race weekend. Going to be a fun race, and it's going to be interesting to watch this weekend. See how Ferrari does. The two home teams. We'll see how Ferrari does, and we'll see. Well, not anymore. It used to be Alfa Romeo, but now it's the Kick Sauber team. So now we only have one Italian team. We had three last year. We had three Italian teams last year, but now we only have one Italian team this year. It's going to be amazing as we are just 6 minutes away from the pit lane opening and getting underway for qualifying. It's going to be a big one, coming off a win for Lando Norris, his first ever win in Formula 1, and the first British driver since George Russell to win a Formula 1 race. That was back in 2022. So we haven't had a British driver win since 2022, and that was George Russell. I don't even remember the last time we had a non-Mercedes British driver win a Formula 1 race. It was a while ago. And Lando Norris got the job done last weekend. Will that translate to this weekend? Oh, well, I don't know. We're seeing some weather for this weekend, some good weather. As we take a look at what's the weather for qualifying, because that could really change the outline in qualifying. With the weather being 77 degrees, maybe some rain tomorrow, but that doesn't seem like it's going to fall under the race tomorrow, under the race time schedule tomorrow. So it is 76 degrees. Will be 76 when when qualifying begins. So the weather is going to be really warm. But when we get to race time tomorrow, we'll get some partly cloudy with getting weather conditions for tomorrow. The rain that was possibly for tomorrow, that we might get tomorrow, is not in Imola, is not happening during the race. So we're not going to get bad weather conditions. Round 6 of the Formula 1 World Championship heads to Imola, Italy, in the region of Emilia, Romagna, in Italy, for some Formula 1 action at the Autodrome Enzo Ferrari in Italy, named after this track, famously named after Enzo Ferrari, the creator of Ferrari. The 19-turn track with a top speed of 214 miles per hour and an elevation change of 34 meters. The MSC Cruises Gran Premio del Made in Italy, Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix brings us the softest tire compound of the season. The C3 is the hards, the C4 is the mediums, and the C5 being the soft. So really soft tire compound, really different tire compound for round 7 of the FIA Formula 1 World Championship in Imola, Italy. It's going to be an interesting qualifying. Can we see Lando Norris shake the grid up again? Yuki Tsunoda, who's also had a fantastic weekend. Charles Leclerc, who got a lap time of 1:15, the fastest lap time of yesterday, of Friday's practice 1 and practice 2. We saw a lot of different cars spin off in the runoff sections of the track. And the houses on the side of the track are really great place to live, to watch an F1 race. And it's going to be an interesting race weekend. We'll see how McLaren does coming off Miami. Yuki Tsunoda, also a huge, strong contender, had an amazing race in Miami. Will that translate to this weekend? And the millions of Ferrari fans, the red in the stands. We are ready for some Formula 1 action with the cars taking on track in a short bit. The fans are ready. Charles Leclerc, who finished first in free practice 1 and free practice 2. Oscar Piastri, who finished first in FP3. But going into the first part of qualifying, Charles Leclerc, who had an amazing weekend, who had an amazing day yesterday, getting amazing lap times, putting some great lap times on the board. Is this Ferrari's weekend to win? It is Ferrari's weekend to win, but that will be challenged by Lando Norris and McLaren. Ferrari, McLaren should be an interesting battle throughout the weekend. We'll see how the Red Bull fares as Max Verstappen. We'll see how the Red Bull fares this weekend as Max Verstappen finished P5 in free practice 1. He finished P5 in free practice 1, P7 in free practice 2, and P6 in FP3. Not looking like a great weekend in the practice sessions for Max Verstappen. But who will come out on top? Alex Albon, who signed the contract extension to stay at Williams till the year 2026. He's got an extra year in his contract for next season. He'll be back. But we do not know about Logan Sargent and the talks of Kimi Antonelli, who finished 11th in the sprint race, in the Formula 2 sprint race earlier this morning. I did watch it. Interesting sprint race. Love to see the Barbados man finish third. Zane Maloney from Barbados. Love to see him finish third as the cars make their way out on track. Love to see Felipe Cortino finish first and give Argentina the win in the sprint race. To hear the Argentinian national anthem during the podium celebration was interesting for him and the fans watching. But for Kimi Antonelli, it's all about trying to get the Williams spot. And if he can't get the Williams spot this weekend, he's got to really perform in Formula 2, give it his all, because I don't think Williams are going to want a Formula 2 driver that finishes P11 multiple times, that finishes on P11 out of 22 drivers on the Formula 2 grid. George Russell, Esteban Ocon, Nico Hulkenberg, Logan Sargent, Kevin Magnussen, Pierre Gasly, and Zhou Guanyu have made their way out of the pits. So has Kevin Magnussen. Lance Stroll also made his way out of the pits. But I think it's all about the fight for Logan Sargent's spot in Formula 1. I don't think Logan Sargent's going to be here next year. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I just don't think he's going to be here next year with his performances similar to Nick DeVries' performances. And Nick DeVries had one of the worst Formula 1 careers I've ever seen. So I think Nick DeVries wasn't cut out for Formula 1. He just wasn't Formula 1 ready. Really interesting to see how Ferrari does this weekend. Being that it's their home race, got a lot at stake for Ferrari. But it's going to be interesting to see how Ferrari will do this weekend. As Charles Leclerc makes his way out on track. The Spaniard, Carlos Sainz, still without a spot for the 2025 season. And Carlos Sainz, who's really been one of the best he's been in the sport for around 12 years at this point. He's been there for a very long time. He's been there with Toro Rosso and the Red Bull Academy for most of his career. His dad, famous Dakar driver in rally car racing, one of the more famous rally car races in the deserts of Saudi Arabia. Competing in that last year. I don't remember which team. I think maybe possibly Red Bull. Competing with Red Bull at Dakar in Saudi Arabia, in crossing the deserts of Saudi Arabia. One of the most intense races you could do it's the race that everyone wants to do as a rally car driver. His dad's a really famed racing driver on the rally car side, competing in the World Rally Car Championships and doing a lot of this stuff, Carlos Sainz Sr. But for Carlos Sainz Jr., it's without a race seat for next year, and I really don't see another team besides Audi trying to act on him, because I think Mercedes should look into him. I think George Russell and Carlos Sainz would be a great driver pairing for next year for Mercedes, because Mercedes is looking for a driver. Carlos Sainz is looking for a driver's seat as Esteban Ocon goes up to P1. I think Carlos Sainz, he's got to really put performances out there if he wants to get a really good seat for next year. I think that the Mercedes seat is all his at this point. He just has to perform the way he should perform, get the results that everyone wants, and grab those results, and he'll get some good racing. Carlos Sainz currently P7 at the moment. Hasn't put a time on the board yet. Charles Leclerc both of the Ferraris yet to put a time on the board. Carlos Sainz going through his lap. A green in sector 1. He put it green in sector 2. Pretty bang average sector 1 and sector 2 for Carlos Sainz. Trying to look for purple in sector 3. Charles Leclerc gets faster than Ocon in sector 2, as Alex Albon, coming out of sector 1 red hot, has the fastest sector 1. Carlos Sainz going to the finish line. P4 is the best he can do at the moment. Carlos Sainz does get the fastest sector 3, but that does not mean he gets the fastest lap. Charles Leclerc, what can he do? Provisional pole for Charles Leclerc. P1 at the moment for Charles Leclerc. What can Esteban Ocon do? Esteban Ocon about to go through the final. Oh, he goes off track for a moment there. Esteban Ocon going off track there for a moment. Yet, he gets P8. He gets P9. Lando Norris, what can he do? Lando Norris going out of turn 16. He's going past Alonso into turn 17 with all the houses on the side. Going to the finish line. What will Lando Norris be? It's P1 for Lando Norris. A 1:16.149. The fastest lap of qualifying thus far. Lando Norris, pole position for the time being. Yeah, for the time being, pole position for Lando Norris. This is what he wants to see. After a really successful race last weekend, after a win... Oh. Oof. Come on. The webcam's not working. Really? Yeah. What the foot? What the so as we get everything fixed, Oscar Piastri up into P1 at the moment. Alongside Verstappen at P2 at the moment. In the in P2 at the moment. So get this one fixed. So, alright, should get it, should be working now. Lando Norris has jumped up to P1 at the moment. Lando Norris has jumped up to P1 at the moment. Not looking so good for it's not looking good for the others, and as Alex Albon being the only driver out on track at the moment. Wow. So it's not going. It's looking like Lando Norris is in first. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. The webcam decides to act up on the last freaking moments. The last moments. In the last moments of these moments of qualifying. So, there's nothing I can do to fix it. So I guess we just gotta go with that one. Cause this one, I don't know what. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know what this is doing. So we're just gonna go with that one for the time being. Just gonna go out with that one for the time being. Lando Norris trying to stick it on pole position at the moment. Yeah. Listen, if I knew how to fix it, I would have fixed it. But, Lando Norris, McLaren's P1, P2. Daniel Ricciardo might get knocked out in Q1 for the millionth time in a row. That's what it seems like these past couple weeks. Hulkenberg goes up to P1. Really random. As Logan Sargent goes into the elimination zone. And Yuki Tsunoda in P9. Norris in second, followed by Piastri in third at the moment. And that ends Q1 with, as the checkered flag comes out, and the drivers will take their final laps. Final laps around the track. This has just been disastrous. Verstappen, P1. P1 for Max Verstappen. As he puts it back up to P1. P1 for Verstappen. And not... Yeah, P1 for Verstappen. Leclerc, P2 at the moment. P2 for Charles Leclerc. Hulkenberg moved down to P3 at the moment. And it looks like Bottas, Sargent, both of the Saubers eliminated. Magnussen and Alonso. Listen, I thought Alpine had the worst car this year. My opinions change after watching qualifying the past couple races and watching Bottas and Zhou Guanyu. Listen, I think it's not good to say Valtteri Bottas is a one-show man. It's not the best look on him. He's brought to Sauber, and the look on his career. Bottas, Sargent, Zhou Guanyu, Kevin Magnussen. So P20 goes to Fernando Alonso with Kevin Magnussen in P19, Zhou Guanyu P18, Logan Sargent P17, and Valtteri Bottas P16. That's what it's looking like so far. That's what it is at the moment. Maybe some changes because of little things. And the mouse is broken. Little things here or there, so with all that's going on at the moment, so yeah, not looking good. Okay. Oh. Wonderful. Just wonderful. How do you turn it on? Just wonderful. Trying to get it fixed at the moment. trying to get it fixed. So, put your thoughts for Q1 at the moment, that we've seen. That we have seen thus far. Oh. Don't know if I get it. Because this is like completely. Because this webcam is completely fried. Okay. So, as we get ready for Q2 at the moment. Oh, this thing likes to work sometimes. As we get ready for Q2 in just a little bit. I don't know if it's going to work. No, it's not. Wow. So we're just gonna go without a webcam for the rest. Because one of these, this is fried. This one's fried. This one is toast. This is great. So we're just gonna go without one for the time being. Qualifying part 2 of qualifying underway. Just getting underway at the moment in Emilia. Let's get it bigger. Let's make it bigger. Take up all the space. Wonderful. Q2 getting underway. Verstappen, Perez, George Russell, Alex Albon, Lewis Hamilton getting underway. In Q2, put your predictions down below for the people who stayed after the huge mess that happened. George Russell, Albon out on track. Logan Sargent didn't get run. He's in 20th at the moment. He's at 20th, got eliminated in Q2 and Q1. So it's looking good at the moment. Hamilton goes into P1 at the moment. Verstappen, something must have happened. No. Hamilton in first at the moment. Making use of his time. Good timing for Hamilton. 116.197. Pretty good on the timing sheets for him. We'll see how the rest of the drivers do as Max Verstappen gets Sector 2 fastest. Sector 2 in Q2. Verstappen puts on provisional pole for the time being. So it's Verstappen, then Hamilton, followed by George Russell. And Perez, Hulkenberg, Leclerc on an outlap at the moment. Perez in P2 at the moment. I don't think it shows it. Oh, great. Just a disaster. Verstappen in P1. I don't know if you could see it. See who's in P1 at the moment. See if it updated at all. Sorry about the technical difficulties we have had all day, all morning here in the US. It's been a disaster. It's been a disaster. This live stream. Been a disaster. Oh, I got it fixed. Not the webcam. Verstappen in first, followed by Sergio Perez in second, with Hulkenberg in third, Lewis Hamilton in fourth, George Russell in fifth, Alex Albon in sixth. This issue. I know how to get this issue fixed. This webcam issue. You use another one. And then get rid of the other one. It's just think I got it fixed, guys. We'll just put the other one here off. We'll just put it like right there or something. The better one. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. That I've had today. I've had today. But we should be better and should be ready for wow. No. Don't want people to see. I could get banned for this. No, we'll move it like... We'll move it. We'll move it. We'll move it all the way over here. So that I don't get banned. We'll move it there. We'll move it there, so. Yes, you can. See it in the... We got it fixed. Got it fixed, guys. We got it fixed. What? We didn't get the other webcam fixed. We got a new one. Got a new webcam. Got a new webcam. Has this one decided to stop working too? No. I just moved it all around there. To avoid copywriting, we gotta move the webcam over there. Back to your regularly scheduled programming in a moment. Alright, we're back. We're back. Sorry about the technical difficulties I've endured while watching Formula 1 today. Alex Albon is 15th at the moment. 3 minutes ago in Q2, it's Leclerc first, Tsunoda second, Lance Stroll third, Lance Stroll third. No wait, Tsunoda's second. Oh yeah. Oh wait. Oh, that's amazing. Leclerc's in first at the moment. So the drivers getting eliminated are Hamilton, Russell, Albon, Gasly, Ocon, and Stroll. They will get eliminated in the elimination zone. They are currently in the elimination zone. But we'll see. We will see how it goes. We'll see how that goes. The race is an hour earlier. It's going to be 9 a.m., but we're going to go on the air at 8 a.m. to get things ready before the race on Sunday. On Sunday. Which sounds good. So Leclerc in first, followed by Tsunoda in second, Verstappen, Piastri, Norris, Sainz, Perez, Ricciardo, and Hülkenberg are all moving on to Q3 actually. What a race it's going to be for the Racing Bulls, who are formerly owned by Italian team AlphaTauri, one of the 3 Italian F1 teams in Formula 1. Red Bull's had a lot of Italian junior Formula One teams in the past. Toro Rosso was an Italian Formula One team because Toro Rosso means Red Bull in Italian, for the people who did not know. Leclerc, the other Ferrari, Carlos Sainz in P6 at the moment. As Ocon moves up into P8, Albon up into P11. As we have a minute left in qualifying to Q2. A minute left in Q2 at the moment. Charles Leclerc, the fastest lap of qualifying so far, a 1:15.328. The fastest of qualifying throughout his 4 laps in Q2. Or is that in total? I don't know. Everyone making their trips for their final laps or starting their final laps of qualifying. Either way, we have less than 30 seconds to go in qualifying. As Lance Stroll moves up into P13, Lance Stroll starting his final lap of qualifying. As either the drivers are coming around the final corner starting their final lap of qualifying, they are going for another lap. Tsunoda in the pits at the moment doesn't really need to be out on track as Verstappen gets the fastest Sector 1 because, you know, he's doing amazing today, Tsunoda. And he's also already in the Q3 no matter what at this point. So, it's looking like the eliminated drivers are Gasly, Albon, Stroll, Ocon, Perez, Ricciardo in getting closer to the elimination zone. Sergio Perez not having a good weekend yet. Maybe he'll have a good race. Who knows? As he doesn't seem to be having a good weekend. Perez. As Perez does not get out of Q2. And that does it for Q2, as we do have Lance Stroll, Daniel Ricciardo. I don't know if they've completed their laps yet or not. As Lance Stroll comes in to finish, take the checkered flag at the moment. So currently we've got the bottom 10 done. 10 more to go. Verstappen, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Norris, Piastri, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Russell, Hamilton, and Ricciardo are all moving on to Q3. Let's take a look at the starting grid for tomorrow's race. We've got Logan Sargent starting P20 in the Williams, followed by Fernando Alonso in P19 in the Aston Martin. In P18, we've got the Haas of Kevin Magnussen, with P17, the Kick Sauber of Zhou Guanyu. In P16, we got the Stake Kick Sauber of Valtteri Bottas. And in P15, the Alpine of Pierre Gasly. P14, you've got Alex Albon in the Williams, followed by P13, Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. In P12, you've got Esteban Ocon in the Alpine. And in P11, you do have the Red Bull of Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. Thank you guys for subscribing to the YouTube channel. We do have a new subscriber. Shout out to car.culture11 for subscribing. Shout out to him for subscribing. Shout out to them for subscribing. And thanks for subscribing. I'll subscribe back. What are your guys' thoughts on Q2 at the moment? Very disastrous for Sergio Perez in Q2. Very disastrous second part of qualifying for Sergio Perez. And Sergio Perez is in Max Verstappen's shadow at this point in qualifying because he's P11 Perez. He didn't get into Q3. Who do you guys think is going to get pole position for the race today? For the race tomorrow? Which I will be streaming the race tomorrow. I won't be showing the race, but I'll be streaming it like I'm doing now. What are you guys' thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts? We're heading into Q3 at the moment. And we do have a couple teams. We're going to start a poll once I'm done creating it. We'll start one. As we're about to start Q3 at the moment. Who's going to be... Which? Well... Which team, guys? Which team will get pole position? Will it be will it be Red Bull? Spelled it wrong. Red Bull. Racing. No, wait. Ferrari? Ferrari. McLaren. Or will it be... Or will it be Racing Bulls? Racing Bulls. Yeah, put your thoughts as Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari, Racing Bulls, or McLaren. Forgot to put Mercedes in there. Or others. Or others. Put your thoughts down below. And then what's your favorite F1 team, guys? Mine is Ferrari or Racing Bulls because of Yuki Tsunoda. Used to be AlphaTauri, but it switched to Racing Bulls. So you guys can vote till the end of Q3. That's when we'll have it up to. The end of Q3. That's when we'll have the voting up to. Verstappen currently leading it in Q3. Verstappen and Hulkenberg are the only two drivers to make it on track. Lando Norris is also getting out of the garage. So we've got 6 teams competing for pole position. You've got Max Verstappen with himself. You've got Yuki Tsunoda. You've got Red Bull, who in Q3 the teams with 2 drivers are Mercedes with Russell and Hamilton in Q3. Ferrari with Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc in Q3. And the Racing Bulls with Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo both making it to Q3. And you also have McLaren with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri in Q3. The teams that only have 1 driver taking part in Q3 is the Red Bull of Max Verstappen and the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. No, not Kevin Magnussen, Nico Hülkenberg. So everyone's out on track besides Daniel Ricciardo, but everyone else is out on track. Verstappen the first to punch a lap in at the moment. He'll be the first to do so, to put a lap in as we've got 10 minutes to go in Q3. The previous polls, Verstappen got pole position in 2022 and 2021, as he's the first to start a lap, going into turn 4, into turn 5, 6, going into turn 6 actually. No, actually, going into turn 6 at the moment. He's got the fastest sector 1 as he goes into turn 12. Went past the mini back straight that they have. Going down the back straight. Going into turn 15 into the mini back straight-ish. Fastest sector 2 for Max Verstappen. He's going into turn 6. No, not 6. 17. 6 and 17. As he goes into turn 18, about to round the corner for his first lap. Yes, he does. Nope. Pole position for Verstappen for the time being. Lando Norris is in first, followed by Hülkenberg in second, actually. Verstappen's in first, actually, to be honest. I don't know what it says on there. Tsunoda is third at the moment with Hülkenberg fourth. So it's Verstappen, Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, and Ricciardo. Piastri just put a lap on there. So it's Verstappen in first, followed by Lando Norris in second, Oscar Piastri in third, Tsunoda fourth, Hülkenberg fifth. So Leclerc, Sainz put it up into P4 at the moment. As Leclerc, who's going down the finish, to put it up into P3 at the moment for Charles Leclerc. Yeah, I think that's his girlfriend in the pits. I'm pretty sure that is. Lewis Hamilton, who's currently making his way through, and he's currently P8 at the moment, with Daniel Ricciardo being the only driver yet to complete a lap in qualifying, in Q3, actually. It's kind of messed up, what it says on the side there, with Verstappen all the way down there, you can see. Verstappen, Norris, Tsunoda's still out on track, still completing some laps. He's currently P7 at the moment. He's going back to the pits. Leclerc's out on track. The 2 Ferraris, the 2 Mercedes are out on track. Oscar Piastri making his way back to the pits. Sainz still out on track. So is Leclerc, Russell, and Hamilton out on track. as Sainz makes his way into Sainz and Leclerc make their way back into the pits. Russell makes his way into turn 12. I don't know if they're doing an in-lap or not, which means like a lap to the pits. Don't know if that's what they're doing now. I think that's what they're doing. Yes, they are. They're going. They're both Hamilton both going back to the pits. Yeah, not a lot of action at the moment because everyone's off track at the moment. Everyone's back in the garage. For the time being, enjoying some Formula One racing. Daniel Ricciardo, the only driver yet to set a lap today. Yet to set a lap in Q3. Not in all of qualifying, just 5 minutes. That means 5 minutes in Spanish. 5 minutos to go. I don't know. 5 minutos here. That means 5 minutes to go. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's how you say 5 minutes ago. As some of the drivers look to be getting out on track, I don't know who's getting out yet. Looks like Ferrari's getting out on track, so is Mercedes. I can't tell which Mercedes though. Both of them. Looks like most of the drivers. Hulkenberg's the first out on track. So is Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo also out on track. So is Carlos Sainz making his way out on track. Leclerc also making his way out on track as well. 3 minutes to go in qualifying in Q3. So Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Sainz, Leclerc, Tsunoda are out on track. Tsunoda just making his way out on track. So those are the only... Russell also making his way out on track. So Hamilton, Piastri, Norris, and Verstappen are not out on track. Hamilton making his way out on track. So Piastri and Verstappen are the only drivers in the pits at the moment. As well as Lando Norris, who I think McLaren's making their way out on track. Verstappen getting out on track. So is Lando Norris making his way out on track. Oscar Piastri also making his way out on track. So everyone's out on track for the final 2 minutes. 10 drivers, 1 spot at pole position. Who will grab pole position this weekend? Is it Verstappen or Lando Norris, or could it be Charles Leclerc? It could be Oscar Piastri or Carlos Sainz. Maybe George Russell will get pole position, or Yuki Tsunoda for the first time in his Formula One career. Hamilton, Hulkenberg, or maybe Ricciardo will be back on top. Who knows who's getting pole position? 10 drivers, 1 minute of intense qualifying for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. For the MSC Cruises, made in Italy, Gran Premio del Emilia Romagna. As Hulkenberg stays in P9. What will Daniel Ricciardo put on the board? His first lap in Q3, he goes Leclerc fastest in Sector 2 at the moment. Daniel Ricciardo going for it on his first full lap. No, Daniel Ricciardo goes to P8 at the moment. Shifting the order down, Hamilton goes into 9th, Hulkenberg into 10th. Shifting the timetables a little bit, as Leclerc, he's still P3 at the moment. Verstappen putting an amazing lap on the board, as qualifying about to end, as he's putting a great lap on board. Verstappen fastest in Sector 1. He's fastest in Sector 2. Hamilton moves into P8 at the moment. As Hamilton takes the checkered flag, so does George Russell. Let's see if Verstappen can get the fastest Sector 3. Looks like he's on pace to do so. Still in first at the moment, Max Verstappen. Will anyone challenge him for pole position? Lando Norris, P2. Oscar Piastri, what will he do at the moment? As Nico Hulkenberg makes his way into the pits. What will Oscar Piastri do? Or Charles Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, he moves into P2. What will Leclerc and Sainz do at the moment? Well, Sainz making his way, Ricciardo making his way down the final straight. And in there, oh, he goes back to the pits, Daniel Ricciardo. Carlos Sainz, what can he do at the moment? Making his way to the final corner of the track, nope. He does not look to complete his lap as well. Leclerc doesn't complete his lap, his final lap of qualifying. And we are done. Verstappen, what an anticlimactic end to qualifying. What a very anticlimactic end to qualifying. As Verstappen gets pole position for the race on Sunday, Max Verstappen is gotten pole position for the third in a row, his third pole position in a row here in Emilia. His third pole position. He's gotten pole position for the past 3 times we've been here. He's got it again. The past 2 times you've gotten pole position in 2021 and in 2022, and in 2024 he gets pole position again. Piastri gets into P2 at the moment, with Norris in P3, Leclerc P4, Carlos Sainz P5, George Russell P6, Tsunoda in 7th, Hamilton in 8th, Ricciardo 9th, Hulkenberg in 10th, Hamilton in 8th, switching around the two, in between the two right racing bulls. So that does it for qualifying. Max Verstappen gets on pole position in qualifying. And sorry for the technical difficulties earlier. But hope you guys have a good rest of the day. See you tomorrow for the race tomorrow.